Welcome back to House of 1000 Haunts. I am your host, Stevie Stone.
And I'm Dwayne Stone.
We are Destination Stone on YouTube, and today we are covering a haunt from Quinton, Alabama. The first Alabama haunt we've covered on our channel. Spooktrail Haunted Maze.
Spooktrail Haunted Maze, as Stevie said, is located in Quinton, Alabama in an old junkyard. Very awesome. It is definitely what I would consider a home haunt.
To an extreme.
To an extreme. I want to go ahead and say thank you to Spook for having us out because, yes, very cool. So worth it.
All right, but before we get into the haunt, to put it in the house, let's talk about what we're drinking per usual. I've got my Freddy Krueger mug. If you are watching this on the video, we will have it linked in the show notes below so you can see the video. Drinking some sweet tea though, that's all.
Yeah, that's it.
But I like to use my fun mugs when we're here in the studio, and I've got a really cool Freddy Krueger mug if you want to check that out on the video. All right, guys, as we said, Spooktrail Haunted Maze. We were looking this one up at the beginning of the year, and we thought it was a Valentine's Day haunt, and turns out it was a Groundhog's Day haunt. Yes, so when we realized this, we realized that this haunted house had a sense of humor, and we were really excited for that.
Yeah, when Stevie told me the name of it, I cracked up laughing. I just immediately was like, oh my God, we have to go to this. It was quite the drive for us, but at the same time, it was totally worth it. It was freaking awesome. The full title of it was My Bloody Groundhog Night Massacre.
Yeah.
That is hilarious. So Spooktrail is a hands-on haunt. We were not aware of this originally.
No.
And when we walked up and I started reading the signs while Stevie was using the restroom, I said, oh wow, it's a hands-on haunt. You can pay an extra $1 though, and they'll give you a glow stick to where they won't touch you. So
no touchies and feelies.
Yeah.
If you did bring a canned food item, you were able to get $5 off on this haunt because they were donating to charities. I really appreciate that. That's very cool. Very supportive of veterans at this haunted house. So it was really cool to be able to come out and support them. All right, guys, so let's head into the house, shall we? When you first walk in, you are greeted by Spook, and he's kind of giving you the lowdown of everything and letting you know there's a lot of caution. He had this almost pom-pom thing, and he was like, caution, danger. If you're watching the video, we're like putting our hands up at it because he was putting that in your face. But you got to check out for a moment a room full of what appeared to be a really cool collection. And stay tuned because we will talk more about that because we were invited back into that room with the lights on.
it was very cool. So after Spook tells you about the danger and to be cautious in the woods, he leads you out through the back and into the trail itself.
Into the junkyard.
Right, and it is a maze.
Okay, so when I was looking this haunt up, I saw that in the title it had the word maze, and it didn't register to me that we were walking into a legitimate maze, meaning there was more than one way and you could get lost. And we did.
Yeah, multiple times.
Yeah.
There probably was maybe 10 actors in this whole haunt, if that.
Yeah, since it was like a special event.
There was a guy with the cowbell that kept popping out.
Oh my God.
That was Stevie's favorite, because every time we cut a corner, he'd pop out.
Just out of nowhere. So as you're walking through this junkyard, it's not just a bunch of cars throughout the whole thing. There's a lot of like tarps and a lot of like pallets where they created different walkways, and then some of them kind of like pinch off, some of them open up. There were areas that they had decorated with spiders. They had some areas with creepy mannequins that were all bloody and just disturbing. Sometimes they just popped out of nowhere and tickled my ribs so hard.
He would constantly, the main guy, Spook, would constantly pop up behind you or in front of you and grab your ribs.
And yell.
It was hilarious. There was one point where he come out of nowhere and speared Stevie.
Literally speared, like edge speared me.
Speared her into the ground.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
Like, I didn't really even hit the floor that hard. I didn't get whiplash or anything.
Oh my god, there it is right there.
Literally on the video if you're watching it.
Too funny.
On the episode.
Too funny.
I just hit the ground. It's so funny. We'll have the link to the video in the show notes below so you can check it out, because it was a really good time. But it was just in the middle of a really dark junkyard, and then just all these random pallets. A lot of the times I was just kind of blinded because of our camera light. I really want to get some night vision cameras and just go through a few haunts with that, because that will help it where we can enjoy the haunt a lot better and not be blinded by the light.
Right.
I don't mind having the light because I want you guys to be able to see our reactions, but a lot of the times our reactions are genuinely real, and we're terrified because I'm blinded by the light. So that happened a lot through this haunt. But just like I said, the word maze, it's going to be up to you how long you're going to be inside this maze, because we were in it a good 30 to 45 minutes. But it had a lot of really cool different scenes, even though it was just a junkyard.
They did something I've never seen before, and that was the chainsaws. It was almost like napkin tubes, the cardboard tubes that are inside of napkins, all up and down the blade of the chainsaw. And
a poster tube.
Right.
Sometimes posters have tubes that big.
I know you're supposed to walk through in the dark because we wouldn't have the light, so you probably wouldn't see that. And when they did touch us with it.
Yeah.
And it vibrated, and it makes me wonder if that makes it vibrate more when they touch you in the dark.
So you don't have to worry about the blade.
Not even that.
The chain.
Not even that, because the chain's off of it.
That's what I'm saying. It's just not. It's covered up.
It'll vibrate more, and it'll when it touches you, and in the dark, maybe it'll feel like something is kind of.
Was the blade still on it, but the tube was over top of it?
The tube. I guess so. I think so.
A lot of haunts. I don't know if it's just a state thing or if it's just the haunt preference. If you're not familiar with haunted houses and you're just watching, you're listening and watching us and learning about them through us. There are some haunts in different states that just don't even put the blade on it at all, and they just have the machine itself. And I don't mean to laugh, but I just think it looks super silly. and I feel like it's just useless. But like he said, a lot of the times you're just in the dark and you just hear it. I'm watching the video now as we're talking about it, and either way though, it was kind of like a safety thing, and like he said, maybe just like a good vibration for
right.
It created a gimmick.
Right. As we're talking about, he's got the chainsaw right there.
Yeah, definitely watch the episode so you can see what we're talking about. But I just found that interesting. I really love people's different interpretations on haunted houses. I'm also looking at, as I'm watching the video back, I'm seeing a lot of the walls were these like rubber. What was that? Like almost like the water
containers that have that you put water in, the big giant.
Is that what it? Oh, there was some of those. You ended up walking around like a roundabout almost, and you ended up just walking in a circle. I'm like, okay, I'm walking in a circle.
That was one of my favorite parts, though. Was when you're walking through and they direct you into this room. And you go around once and it goes around in a circle and you're like, what am I doing? And then they keep you going. When you go around, I think it was twice. It was like the second or third time we came around, it was different. They changed it.
I don't know how they did that.
Tarps. And they managed to
make enough
ruckus and noise for us to not notice that they were moving the tarps to the side.
Is that what happened?
They directed us right into it.
Well, they did it really good because number one, I didn't notice that, and I did not get that on camera. It just changed. And I felt like I was in the labyrinth, like the movie. Like, I was just like, what is... So I'm going to be honest, like, it was, like Dwayne said, it had that, like, home haunt, local haunt feel, but from just a bunch of people who love haunted houses. Right here at the end, oh my goodness, as we're watching it on the video, there was a part where you saw a lot of the cars, and they were just kind of created this walkway, this entryway, so to speak, and they were all stacked on top of each other. There was fireworks going off. I don't know if that was especially for us, but that was fun. I don't know if everybody gets that as they walk through the end, but we did. And all the cars were there, and as we're coming out, every single haunt actor followed us.
They just bombarded.
Oh, it was so wicked. Attacking us with their tube chainsaws and the damn cowbell again. Man.
It was awesome.
It was so much fun.
Yeah, that is one thing I will say about Spooktrail. It's fun. It was one of the most fun and creative haunts that we've ever been to. The people who run it love it.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah, they donate to charity. They do good work for the local people, and they just have fun. And I'm really glad that they were open. I hope they do more haunts throughout the year. I really want to encourage haunts. If you're a haunt owner, just pick any time of the year. It doesn't even have to be like a holiday. Pick a time of the year that you could think of something creative and open your haunt.
Yeah.
Why not? They opened, instead of being open for Valentine's Day, which a lot of haunts are doing now, and I love it. Some of them will only be open one weekend, but a lot of them will do 2 weekends. And they instead did 1 weekend a few weeks before, and they did it for Groundhog's Day. Like,
it was fun.
It was fun. There was a killer groundhog dude running through the haunt trying to attack us the whole time,
that
too.
That was hilarious, yeah.
Oh, and on that note, as the video's showing us, if you're watching this on YouTube, like we said, we did get to walk back into that special room with all of his collection.
Tons of just horror memorabilia, whether it be action figures or clothing or just different flyers, posters, all kinds of stuff. It was very awesome. Yeah. Again, thank you, Spook, for sharing that with us.
Yeah, that was so cool.
Because, man, that was like the highlight of our weekend. It was so good. It was so good.
Yeah. It was obvious to me, looking in that room when he turned the lights on, that was stuff from all of life, from the whole life of living, because I have a lot of stuff like that, like random stuff, you know, not just stuff you get from Target or Walmart, like we like to do sometimes in our toy hunts on our YouTube channel. We are tearing toys after all. But
I want a Spooktrail shirt.
Yeah, Spooktrail, guys. We would love that. Yeah. Give us some Spooktrail merch.
Yeah.
Guys, definitely check out
I like their logo.
That walkthrough of the Spooktrail Haunted Maze in Quinton, Alabama. We'll have it linked in the description below and in the show notes below.
Quinton, Alabama was just west of Birmingham.
Yeah. Not too bad.
Like an hour, maybe, if even.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was only about an hour. Not too bad. If you do watch the video, and if you are traveling to go to that haunt, I also mentioned a hotel that you could stay at if you're traveling for the haunt, because I know some people enjoy doing that. So we're here to help out those people who want to take their spooky good times further instead of just October. Why not all year long?
Do it.
Come on, I know there's a lot of you out there. Remember #Halloween is life.
Because it is.
Right? Guys, thanks for hanging out with us on another episode of House of 1000 Haunts. If you are having fun with us, be sure to give us a 5-star rating and review wherever you are listening to your podcast. And definitely check us out on YouTube. We'll have that in the show notes below. We have a lot of fun over there with the podcast, with our show, and also with a little thing we like to call Friday Night Flicks, where we go live and watch spooky movies with you on Friday nights.
Spooky movies.
Or sometimes just something funny. Who knows? Thank you again to Spook and all of the cool kids at Spooktrail Haunted Maze in Quinton, Alabama. I can't wait to come see you guys again.
Y'all were awesome.
Next time, though, I'm wearing football gear. All over. I'm going to have the teeth guard in, Let's go. That was a good time.
Yeah, it was.
I had so much fun. All right, guys. If you're having fun with us too, give us a follow. We'll see you next time. I'm Stevie.
And I'm Dwayne.
And this is House of 1000 Haunts.
Later, taters.